Hi, today I'm gonna make an app that just simply returns data from front end to the back end. Front end would be using a React, and the back end will be using Express server. So first, I have a folder called Kpop, and I have an index.js. Here is where I'm going to set up the server. So first, I'm gonna open up a console by doing Control tilde. And I'm gonna go ahead and do npm init n-y. So it just gives me all the information I need. So on package.json, I have name, Kpop, and the entry point is going to be index.js. And I'm just gonna update this to MIT. Okay, so then the next part, I'm gonna start the Express server. To do that, I need to install a few things. Let me see. So to get that working, I want to npm I, which is npm install, and or you can use yarn too if you want. npm I, let's do Express, and then enter. And then once that resolves, I want to do, then now we can see package.json, and I can see the dependency expressed. I want to get the node for the dependency. So I'm going to do npm I big D dash D and then node mon. And that will install a development dependency node mon here. Once that's done, I'm gonna add some script so it'd be easy for me to look at things. So I'm gonna do start node index.js, which is the entry point. And when I say dev, it will run node mon, which watches any of my changes. So I just added that. So then I'm going to start getting the Express set up here. So const set up a variable Express, and I require Express. And then const set it at open instantiate Express. There you go. Then once I have that, I want to go ahead and start assigning a port. So I'm going to say const port equals 5,000. Well, let's do 8080. And then add listen and port. And I'm going to do console.log and say tactic server started at http / localhost, and then the port that we identified, which is 8080. And so then now we have the port set up. Let's set up a one test route app.get. Then we'll do we'll say listening. And res. Sure, there's no extra one. Here we go. And I'm going to say res.send I'm gonna say okay, so that should do it. So let's check if the port is up. So now we're gonna do npm run dev. There's a fire crash. So let's see what happened. Okay, that's not like this. Maybe I can do it like this. Okay, let's look. And then the command click goes there. Cannot get, which means server is up, but there's no route there. So let's go to listening. Let's just make this listen. Okay, so I'm listening. Is that spelling right? Right. That just sounds, that just looks weird. But anyway, so we know that server's up, and we're using localhost 8080. So now I'm going to create another route app.get, and here API games is to keep up. Rec.res. The command shift F and make all the semicolon come in there. A little bit annoyed by not having the semicolon in the right places. So then I'm gonna do let games K-pop list equals to yes pink to anyone NCT truth. It's not happy with that. I'm gonna add the K-pop. Okay. And then res.json. And then I'm gonna pass in K-pop list. Okay, so I just saved it. So now we should have an endpoint API K-pop, and I want the React to be able to see this list. So let's say we go to, just from the server, we can go to API K-pop and be able to see these things. However, when I do React, how do we communicate that back and forth? So, and usually the server is the where we are saving the data. So we want to be able to give it back to React and communicate back and forth. So now I'm gonna create another server, which is React, the front end server. So then what I do is I'm gonna do touch from the K-pop folder, and then touch touch. Oh, let's do, actually, we don't even have to create a folder. We can do npx create React app, and we're going to do React UI. So what npx does is it goes and gets the latest create React app build, and it will create all the necessary folders and information, and then name the folder React UI for us. So it's creating. So now we can see the React UI coming in there. And as soon as this one finishes, you'll see the localhost popping up for 3000 because React by default runs on 3000. So we're just waiting. So while we wait, we can look in here. Package.json. So I have this one up. What we eventually will have to do is we're going to set a proxy for this. And let me see. Currently, I just have, you can use this feature conjunctions proxy property at package.json. So first I finished it. So now I'm gonna do cd into React UI. So now we're in there. So let's see. Is it up and running? So we can look at it. Localhost 3000. Oh, we haven't started it. So we can do yarn start. Just start up for us. Yeah. Now we see that it's all started. And, so the front end for localhost 3000 is up, and back end is still up, as we can see here. Localhost 8080, and this is 8080, and then React app is 3000, and it says React app 3000. Then now what we do is we create let's go to app.js, and we will call an API call from there. So we're going to use the functional hook, which is going to be import React. Effect from React. Then we're going to call here useEffect. We're sending in an empty bracket here, so we want this to only happen once when the page mounts. So then now we do fetch and API then data. Server. So now we have that. And I'm gonna just get rid of all this. And npm console. Okay. So right now, what it does is the React looks at the route API Kpop and then calls for the data and then waiting for a response. And then Kpop data, once the data comes in, I want to console.log it. And then let's see. So once you do this, and then you will get to so it says the onCut promise unaccepted token JSON. This is because we have not set up the proxy. So let's set up the proxy. Want to configure the proxy manually. So we want to go to npm install, save this one. So I'm gonna open up another, just cancel this out. Let's not go over this. So let's do this here. So npm install HTTP proxy middleware save. Make sure that we're inside of React UI folder. And then create source setup proxy.js. Copy this one. Source. Create a folder. Setup proxy.js. And I'm going to copy this. Use API, proxy, and localhost 8080. So that's my proxy folder. And it is still saving. So once that saves, it's waiting. Okay, now I'm gonna start up the React. You want to start? Okay. So now once that's set up, now we can see the list showing up from backend. Make it a little bigger. And we can see it from the network. Under network, you can see Kpop. And under header, you can see status 200. And the preview, it shows a list. So this is how you communicate from React and get information from backend. So backend, you can see index. So it's API Kpop, and here's the data. And we want to see the data in our app.js. And here we're getting API Kpop, which is exactly the same as API Kpop. And this data is now communicating and then now receiving in React. And we can see it by looking at localhost 3000 and localhost 3000 root, and the app is showing the root route. That's it.